Morning from Vulcan's frontier, ready for another adventure. We're with Jared Newton in the continued exploration here in the verse. We're going to head out to Pyro 4 and Fairo, touch down on the planet's surface and explore some of the expansive bodies of water, the crimson seas, the Martian-like landscapes, and just absorb the ambience. So, without further ado, let's begin. We start our journey in the rather dilapidated Hatch City. Here on the journey, a moment of reflection and an exercise in absorbing the pure ambience in this vastly impressive, engrossing space. So what we'll do is we'll head on down from the habitation area. Let's see if we can access, again, a practice in solitude, but also just absorbing the environment. Currently in Hab Floor 1, a very different reality compared to the clean, sleek, opulent lines in Stanton, Horizon, and indeed all the other planets, Microtech and Arcorp, offering a different world here of haphazard, makeshift solutions to ensure that this place is habitable. We'll make sure that we capture the ambience, and we'll ensure that we're here in the multi-textured and multifaceted spaces here in the verse, especially the fiery part of the verse, Pyro. So let's retrieve our C1 Spirit. So we have the C1 Spirit and the highly capable, sleekly designed Crusader Industries C1 Spirit. Alongside that, we'll take our humble Hoverquad with us and see if we can journey across some of the landscapes in and around the surface of some of these planets. We'll journey on through, experience the ambience. Rather unfortunate, our C1 is at the mercy of reality breaking situation. Rather unfortunate, immersion breaking, but alas. Let's store the C1 Spirit. So again, more enigmatic spaces as we delve deeper into the impressive ambiance. Our HEPA filter making sure that it filters out all the rust, all the oxidized metal struts, and very dusty environment from makeshift fires, indeed particulates in this dusty world, making sure that we we are indeed protected from this very different world. We're retrieving the Hoverquad initially, so we'll bring the Hoverquad close to the terminals and then retrieve the sleek and perhaps a favorite of Vulcan's frontier, the enigmatic and superbly designed Crusader Industries C1 Spirit. Let's go ahead and move the Hoverquad out of the way. Without getting too enthusiastic, very lucky that didn't explode there. Let's disembark and retrieve the C1 Spirit.
Welcome to the ASOS vehicle retrieval system. Your insurance claim has been sent.
And there we have the delivery time. So let's go ahead and
Thank you.
expedite our C1 Spirit to 2 minutes. The C1 Spirit to re-emerge in this into Patch City's hangars. Very different Self-land hangar. Compared to the sleek, clean AeroView hangars around Microtech and Orison. And such is a testament to the functionality, to design aesthetic of these individual spaces in around the verse. We'll make sure that we're quite rapid in our focused harvest of all the relative points of interest in and around the verse. Not too long or too short as to dilute or miss any important areas in and around the space. It's a really impressive degree, such a difference in both the worlds, the two places. It really does owe to the depth and detail, especially the environments with these dilapidated spaces, even the ASOP terminals. The voice, synthesized voice, auto voice, has been somewhat
to the ASOS vehicle retrieval system.
corrupted.
Thank
20
you.
seconds remaining.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
That we have additional storage facilities in the Hoverquad. Again, such a practice in our intention to be able to, for the ambience, it's a silence. Enjoy the journey where it should be, and there hopefully this time we'll get a C1 Spirit that is reset, upright, and ready to head to Fairo. And there we have a reset C1, ready for Armstrong moments. Try and make sure our panning is reduced somewhat. Now let us access the panel. Ramp access. As it lowers, you can see the red outline, which is quite spectacular, indicating where one should stand when the ramp extends. Let's ingress onto the Hoverquad. Pan round. So place the Hoverquad into the C1. Well, we seem to have not opened the inner door, so we'll correct that.
All systems disabled.
Comfortable aesthetic here. The unmistakable, clean, crisp lines, cargo bay of the Crusaders Industries C1 spirit. Just need to move it forward a little bit.
Your journey begins now. All systems operational. All systems disabled.
Apologies, let's...
Welcome. Your journey begins now.
place the hoverquad.
All systems operational. All systems
Simba.
disabled.
We're ready to close the externals with key, so let's head to the flight deck. Be ready to cast into the verse, this most enigmatic of ships, as we journey on through to this fiery location. Let's head on out. We know where we're going. This impressive location. Pyro 5. Fairo. This journey. We've got the location mapped. So with that, let's request departure.
Engines off. Engines on.
And let's close the externals. Another impressive sight as we've remotely binded a key to do so. Waiting for Armstrong moments as we watch the doors open to this fiery, enigmatic part of the verse. Especially the sound transition moving on out from the hangar itself to the silence. Dusty, rusty, fiery world here. It is known as Patch City. We have obituary and checkmate to explore. Let's engage the quantum drive.
Shields off.
And round. Gear retracted. 7.3 gigameters to go. Engage the quantum drive. For a couple of minutes as we journey on through. We noticed that our helmet wasn't on, so we've just the helmet and we're resetting our journey. So again, very impressive viewing area here on the C1. We did a previous presentation having a look at Vatra and Fugo, but I fear that we didn't take the opportunity to explore it as extensively as we should have. So we'll revisit those spaces. Really truly try to harvest some of the very impressive POIs, stations, the bases on and around those planets. A practice both in solitude and ensuring that we explore as much as we can. We do have the rest area and the convenience in and around the habitation area in this C1. Hoping to do some hauling as well to aid in our exploration. As always, exploration, a key focus of Focus Frontier, coupled with the other activities. and to aid in that objective: hauling, trading, mining, salvage, delivery.
Quantum fuel, 75%.
So we have quantum fuel. Still okay, and then we have Pyro 5 coming into this huge gaseous gas giant here.
Quantum travel complete.
Another practice in the way in which the textured areas, especially the atmosphere, really goes to show how deep, detailed, especially the reflection, the light from this fiery, inhospitable planetary spheres reflecting on the C1 spirits underside the hull. So we can see we're slightly obstructed. In fact, we can head on out in there, Pyro. Very impressive. See a silhouette of a planet. Owing to the ambience, we'll have moments of silence as we go deep. Really try to get more so surgical in our approach. Try and create that deep conduit into these highly engrossing virtual dimensions. I believe it's obstructed. Yeah, liberation.
Quantum travel engaged.
So orbital marker 5.
Travel complete.
We've got a sequence of another orbital marker to get to which we'll then head to. Fairo, I think that's in the distance.
Quantum travel engaged.
And there we
Quantum
have.
travel complete.
We're ready to have a look at this planet here.
Travel engaged.
And a spectacular view. First time seeing this impressive planet. Striking initially is the fact that this is a huge sea. Body of water separating the two hemispheres along the equator. Well, what we can do is find a scenic area where we can just touch down and then coast across this scenic space, see what we can see, and bodies of water interspersed in and around the surface. There's this huge vessel in the middle. That's the one we perhaps want to gain some interest in. We'll go to the end here, and it looks like a good location to try and explore. We've got some more scenic areas in the distance. Just want to capture perhaps that little this little area here. It's islands dotted around, rather picturesque scenic area, so we'll head over and see what we can see there. I do believe there are a couple of locations on this planet which we can have a look at as well, indicating locations, specific stations. And again, we seem to be in part of the, at least we're in the daylight side of the planet. We seem to be in quite a wide area crossing. This is a larger crossing. So we have the Canyon Depot, which is one station. More places to observe. Objectives to see. In a huge body of water. The northern hemisphere. It'll be very interesting to coast across, transition into darkness. Well, we're heading further down. Good job we actually close the map mode as we're heading down now. It's such a huge expanse of water. This Martian-like place. We have a G-lock effect. So there's so many features to explore in and around this space. Journey on down. Silent solitude. Again, very impressive. You'll have those Ikiagi moments, those Umara moments, those moments where you feel a sense of discovery. The landscape is particularly interesting, dotted around this rather sandy patch, from mountain ranges in the distance to crimson seas, interspersed with these sandy features. Let's see if we can find location here. Immediately, what's apparent, these large splinters, these huge slabs, rocks dispersed into this sandy world. What we can see, I think it's a microtech moment. We still have Bloom to explore. Let's touch now. No cameras to look around, so we'll have to use let's touch down. Incomplete. Let's turn the engines off. Systems ready to disembark, to have Armstrong moment, this planetary surface. A hoverquad awaits. wondrous Armstrong moment, if any. Let's stroll on slowly and absorb the ambience. It's immediately striking. As Pyro is diffused, resultant diffusion is a reaction showing this magenta-style hue that's coming through the atmosphere. Rocky deposits. A land starved of any moisture, as we can see. Drought. Just being mindful about the speed, maneuverability, both in panning and experiencing. Make sure we don't have any sudden movements. Amazing, really, to actually perhaps land here. No one else has visited. We have something that's there, some object. And another interesting fusion there. C1 spirit, juxtaposed with the place here. The white and blue amongst this Martian-style oxidized surface, but our real focus to see if we can get to have a moment and come back for the Hoverquad. We did land quite away from the sea itself. But we are indeed on the way. Too long a presentation. 6 degrees centigrade, so our suit is doing a good job of keeping us insulated from the sharp cold beyond. Rocky deposits, sandy spaces, parched lands. Just one of these areas. Didn't really calculate it, as we did land quite far from the water. It might serve a better purpose, perhaps, to return. Get our Hoverquad. Journey on out. Our solitary speck. Singular adventurer Jared Newton here. Perhaps an unvisited place. Any other members here? It's first footfall. Place now discovered. Let's head on through. severely miscalculated our location from the shore. Should be alright and accessible if we get our hoverquad. Ambience.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
Journey on down the ramp. A striking view of the C1 Spirit. And our hoverquad. Well, the sea is that way, so what we'll do is head on, making sure we don't strike any so it's not. Yes, so it is quite far, but through walking distance, it's 1 kilometer away, handled quite well by the hoverquad. But there, the Crimson Sea before us. We have no doubt the hoverquad's very capable of heading over and across this huge body of water. So what we'll do is we'll be very impressive. So what we'll do is point the direction and a moment's silence as we coast across. Humble safety of a hoverquad. Gain practice in ambience and silence. Discovery and wonder here with Vulcan's Frontier. Another impressive sight, seeing the water being distorted or pushed around by the anti-gravity field on the hoverquad. So we've enabled QT, so we're hopefully able now to maximize our speed across the surface. Still achieving 94. We have it. No obstacles to worry about as we journey on out and through. Well, that's very impressive. Let's have a moment. Stop. Truly in the midst of this huge mass of water. solace of our C1 awaits. Let's continue the journey. It's truly captivating as we pass the deep crimson sea below us, this highly oxidized body of water, this huge sea. The only solace is the Hoverquad as we coast across it. Just below, the supporting structure of this vehicle. Very impressive, especially this impressive water. Perhaps one of the largest bodies of water that we've come across. I doubt whether we'll see a huge wave as the earthquakes, the tectonic plate movement on this planet cause any earthquakes and resultant tsunamis. Maybe no interstellar moments, but what we have is the opportunity. Just enjoy the silence. Distant solitude, casting ourselves across the oxidized crimson allure here of this huge Red Sea, and this Martian-like surface, this Martian world, journeying on through and experiencing the journey of both solitude, inspiration, and ambience.
Hydrogen fuel, 75%.
Well, it's certainly a journey. It really just goes to show when you're at specific levels in the C1 spirit, this huge body of water looks somewhat negotiable, but when you're at ground level, it's an entirely different story. You can see the vaporized mist being created as the force field of our hoverquad interacts at the surface of this huge sea. Something we definitely don't want to do is disembark. Won't be able to get back in and be at the sea of whatever fate awaits us. But very impressive. Let's now have a look. So we've jetted away from the C1. Very impressive. And it's in the display. Hydrogen fuel was reported at 75%. You can almost feel we don't have our helmet on actually. So we could almost get a crisp, clear whiff of cool Martian-like air of perhaps rather oxidized flavor to the atmosphere. As we journey on out through. So much ambience to absorb, so much essence. To acquire. Almost like drinking an artisan cup of coffee or at the best cafe. Just taking a moment to you're really going to show the scope, size, and scale of this body of water. There are, I assume, other bodies of water, obviously in and around Microtech, which are, again, quite extensive. Various other spaces, but this more so, but they're mostly frozen. This more so is one of the more spectacular places we visited. So let's journey on through see where we can return back to the Solaces. Probably heading down to 50% on the hydrogen fuel, but we are very impressive. Let's see if we can track the location of C1. So C1 indicated. So let's and I fear the C1 may have decided to well, indeed, the C1 is not, as we can see here, on the planet's surface. It seemed to have... Well, it's rather unfortunate. It's the 37.4 gigameters away, which is not ideal. Unless it's rather unfortunate that it seemed to have relocated. Such is the reality here in the verse. But again, a practice in solitude, wonder, and detail, going deep in the hugely varied environments that are offered here as we explore, but quite captivating, and hopefully this will go to serve a form of inspiration both in the real world and the virtual. We interchange them as we both inspired by so many facets, so many aspects of our discovery, that this will create a bridge into exploring the local environment, getting a few Ikagi moments, a few euphoric moments in and around the real world, as much as we can gain those in the virtual one. But I fear that our C1 has decided to place itself somewhere far into the distance, and no amount of hydrogen fuel is going to get us there. Fortunately, which is again a real shame, rather unfortunate. Let's try again to see if we can relocate the ship itself. Yes, it's indicated the ship is over here, and that is a real unfortunate shame. I think all we can do in this instance is head towards the coast, and there's no other way we can track it. No targets and no contacts. Not seem to be going beyond the 200. But that's very unfortunate that the C1 has decided to do that. But what we'll do is we'll continue the journey, simply reset and emerge once more from the outpost and explore more points of interest. More opportunity for us perhaps to explore maybe the universe. The verse has given us a message to say we've got more exploring to do on our hoverquad. Well, we might as well use all the available hydrogen fuel. So unfortunate that the C1 had to relocate itself so many millions of meters away. So we're at 50% on the hydrogen. Fortunately, there's no marker. That is indeed our C1. Unfortunate occurrence, but that is the reality of the verse and what happens. So one mustn't remember, we are indeed directly in the center of this huge sea, right in the middle, so it's going to take a while to get back to the coast, but another opportunity. to see what there is and to see. I felt that there may have been some issues in respect of some anomalies happening because the initial recall in the ASOP terminal at Patch City we had to reset it by reclaiming the C1. So as a consequence, I felt that it might have been an issue as a result. The thing we don't want to happen is, if we do, that's a reality, but if we do get relocated back to Orison, our point of origin, then we'll immediately resume this session and start. We may be in a different location, but we'll ensure that we have, as best we can, some continuity. Again, it's truly exceptional. I really can't get over the impressive detail, and no worries about any obstacles. We're just coasting across in the impressive Hoverquad. Can't seem to increase our speed beyond, it says 280 there, but there may be a specific mode perhaps we're missing something. The true center of this entire body of water. Let's try and see if we can head north, and maybe that will bring us to the coast. I was heading either east or west, so I think we were heading in a westerly direction. So let's head on and see if we can reach the coast, at least reaching the coast before our hydrogen fuel runs out. Fortunate C1 has decided to engage a quantum drive and park itself all the way into a very far, indeed, 2 or 3 minutes with the quantum drive, so we're not obviously getting there. So what we'll do is we'll head on over to the coast and conclude the session. Again, practice in ambience. Such is the reality of the verse and virtual worlds. Aha. So what must happen? So if we go in the general direction, so it looks like fate has proved positive. So when we actually head towards the general direction of the ship itself, it may report that it's actually out there, but it's so it hasn't. It's just a reporting issue. So now we are able to return back to the C1 to conclude the session. That's a marvelous surprise. Returning back to the C1, That is, if our hydrogen fuel doesn't run out. And it was just a matter of luck that we simply turned towards the ship itself. Depth and detail in the essence of the verse here present before us. That was sheer luck that we did that. It's rather unfortunate that it doesn't report the further you get away from the actual vehicle. It doesn't keep its location highlighted. It requires us to travel in the general direction of the vehicle, irrespective of its reporting. But so pleased that we can return back. Let us check our we have the advanced HUD. And there's the H fuel. So an update on the H fuel. There we have 3.9 kilometers, a huge epic journey across this enigmatic space. Solitude, silent wonders, and impressive spaces. Quite an epic journey onto and across the Crimson Sea, this Martian space. Well, we're so lucky that we've actually managed to track and get back to the C1. Sheer luck that we've managed to locate that. Continue our exploration of this planet, and there the C1 awaits. What we can do actually is head towards the, I don't know how, it was just pure luck that we pointed in that direction. So we must get a certain distance from the vehicle, and then it has an error in its distance reporting. So perhaps something to correct. So let's head back. And perhaps what we can do is turn off the hoverquad.
All systems disabled.
Always remember to lower the hoverquad before. And let's head on. Stand the shores of the cosmic ocean, as Dr. Sagan says in Cosmos, but this time we stand on the shores, the oceans of our imagination. Through code, art, science, creativity, technology, and imagination, we are indeed able to form and create the eloquence of worlds exist, those digital dreams projected for us all to witness. So let's wait out a little bit. At the moment, reflection, silence. Let's take the helmet off. Foxfront, I'll be back with you momentarily. And wander silence through spaces and focused moments of ambience, silence, and indeed moments into which we are inspired, here for the journey, for the focus of these spaces, to evoke that sense of inspiration in all of us as we journey on through, creating a conduit into worlds realized, born from the crucible of our imagination. Here with Vulcan's Frontier for the journey. Oh, it's a nice little ambient excursion into reflection and moments of silence as we journey on through and experience the solitude wonder spaces that are present. I've got a bit of a blizzard going, so let's get back into the solace of the C1 and conclude the session. Hopefully not too long a presentation. We'll be interspersing with longer presentations for some ASMR-ish activities, creating the silent solitude of these journeys, and more focused presentations. Again, as always, Fox Frontier will chapter these sequences, presentations, very lucky there. We didn't break the hoverquad. I'm not sure what happened. Whether it's hold mode or... Yes, we... yeah, usually there's the reverse thrust, and I miscalculated the fact that there would be reverse thrust on the hoverquad, which there obviously is, but it's not as powerful. We were very lucky there. One gets carried away. Let's retreat back into the solace of the C1 Spirit. Very lucky indeed that we didn't simply explode after all of that. But we have retreated now from the windy spaces, the water, the silence, and the sleek, crisp, inviting lines of the Crusader Industries C1 Spirit. Let's close up. Locked and secure. The inner door as well. Oopsie. It's the inner door now. Well, another Armstrong moment. So you close the door. Inner door now. Locked and secure. Such are the intriguing, spectacular ways in the little mechanisms, the locking mechanisms, various doorways, hatches that operate on these various ships. So we'll head on through and conclude here. We'll leave a symmetrical view of Fairo beyond the protective walls and window of the Crusaders C1 Spirit's flight deck. Well, that concludes our presentation. Hope you've enjoyed a little excursion. Bit of a panic there, as we thought we'd be stranded forever, but the C1 Spirit was there all the time. Hopefully be corrected. But again, a practice in ambience. Hope you've enjoyed the journey as we resume our discoveries in and around the impressive verse. There's the like, subscribe, notification button. There's also a comment section, whatever you may wish to add. So we hope to increase the fidelity of these presentations and focus on their continuity. All that's left to say is Focus Frontier wishes you a splendid, inspirational onward journey. Until next time, goodbye for now.